BoxingVoice.com.
In the house dressing.
Live here with Keith one time.
House dressing.
So Keith, I wanted to talk to you obviously because I just interviewed Tszyu, and he revealed that he was in training camp 7 straight weeks for a southpaw named Erickson Luger. Then got the call that was off. That fight was supposed to be scheduled for March 2nd, Saturday. Got the call that now it's March 30th. Keith Thurman, he says, I immediately said yeah, and we just went to training. But my thing is, Erickson is a southpaw. Is that going to affect him? Because he just, brushed it off like, well, I'll fight southpaws in the future. It was just future training. Does that affect the person? You got 7 weeks training for a southpaw. Can you just flip the switch and...
Yeah, that's no biggie. I mean, in our off season, we'll spar a southpaw one day, a right-hander another day. You know what I mean? It only matters in the moment. And, if you got a whole nother 8-10 weeks to wrap your head around your opponent, then, so be it. So I don't think that's going to have any effect. Obviously he's been very active. Everybody was talking about his activity. I heard the rumors that he was in preparation for somebody. I didn't know the who. And he's just, Tim Tszyu's coming, Keith. Tim Tszyu's gonna be in shape. Tim Tszyu's coming. He's coming to make a name. He's coming to do X, Y, and Z. And that's that, man. I love what I do in boxing. I love making great fights. I'm confident in this fight. I still think it's a great fight. I still think that no matter what kind of shape and conditioning Tim Tszyu's going to be in the heat of the moment, he's going to make fundamental mistakes. And me as a veteran, that's what I'm going to be looking forward to capitalizing on. Like that picture right there, man. The fundamentals. You know what I mean? The fundamentals, just straight, boom, straight shots. Catch him on the inside. When he opens up, he seems a little bit wide. Is he going to tighten up? Is he going to have more head movement? What kind of Tszyu am I going to get? How much new flavor are they going to put on Tszyu? Or are they just going to tell Tszyu, do what you do, and let's just be that tough dude, walk Thurman down, break him down. He thinks he can handle it. We're going to prove to him that he can't. That's what's up in the air. Can Thurman handle it? Can he not? That might just be their mission. They might try to add a few little extra tricks and put some extra salsa and some hot sauce on top of it. But, at the end of the day, whatever they do, I've seen this type of boxing before, and I just believe with my 7-time national champions, 2-time world champion, in the ring with legends and just great fighters my whole life, before I ever turned pro, being in this gym, in that ring right there with Winky Wright, Jeff Lacey, Antoine Eccles, Andre Berto, Chad Dawson, just to name 5 off the top of my head, I mean, is Tim Tszyu a Chad Dawson? When we had Chad, he wasn't even champion of the world. He was to be champion of the world. We all predicted he was going to be champion of the world. We had the bad Chad Dawson in St. Pete boxing. Shout out Chad Dawson. So at the end of the day, like I said, I really don't think he's going to be bringing nothing that I haven't seen before. The real fundamental question is, with my inactivity and his activity, is Keith Thurman going to be able to handle it? The things that I do in the ring, the angles, the power punches, I know I haven't gotten a knockout in a long time, but there's nobody who hasn't really gotten shook by my punches in the ring. I make contact. I'm very good at making contact. No one's just been in a fight and it's like, he just handled Keith Thurman. We've never seen myself be handled in that manner. So that's where my confidence comes from. I believe that they will not be able to just manhandle me, easily walk me down, and do what they want to do. I'm going to disturb their strategy and their input. But I'm looking forward to a great fight, and I'm glad that I have a great young fighter like Tszyu stepping in the ring with me on March 30th.
I got James Valdez from San Antonio, Texas that says, would the Canelo versus Crawford fight be as one-sided as the Canelo-Jamel fight?
No. It would not be as one-sided, you know. After the knockdown, I mean, we hate to say it, we really do, but sometimes we see people show up for a check, you know, and it's never fun when we have to watch it after we paid for it, after we took our Saturday nights that we could have been doing anything else. We took the time to be in front of the TV for some entertainment, and we don't get that. I have greater faith in Crawford when it comes to his determination to showcase his skills and talent. And the other thing that I kind of remind people is, even though Jamel didn't do much in the fight, he really, besides the knockdown, he really was not getting hurt. Which means that a real boxer who has eyes, who keeps their hands up and is ready to block, duck, slip, pivot away from those right hand, left hooks, uppercuts, pretty much the power punches, because Canelo only throws the jab to line up the right hook, the left hook, or the right hand. So I believe that Crawford, with his tight defense and on the inside, he's got a little bit more dog in him. And he's going to step up to the plate and go bop, 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 right back if he was ever to be in the ring with him. I used to want to fight Canelo Alvarez when he was at 154. He was on the Golden Boy cards. I was on the Golden Boy cards. Backstage, I looked over at Oscar and their team, and I said, do I get Canelo? And they said, whoo, that's a good fight, especially before he ever fought Floyd and he knew how to move his head. I was like, I knew this kid could be got. The surprise is he's only got once. Floyd got him, and then Bivol got him, but that was really more him being in a place where he didn't belong in boxing. But at the end of the day, Canelo can get away with beating a lot of fighters, but when you're fighting the best in every division, he ran into the same scenario that Lomachenko ran into, right? You can't just keep moving up in weight, fighting the best in the world, and walking away with W's. Eventually you're going to get got. So we've seen two styles that got him. I think Triple G should have had him on the first one, but he never fully did, and he never got that close again in the other showdown. So it is what it is. I like Crawford's speed in the fight. I like his ring IQ. I like his boxing ability. But we just know what Canelo does, man. Canelo walks you down, throws those power punches, comes in shape, is ready to counter nowadays, really strong, a lot heavier. It just seems like a really stretch of a feat for Crawford, right? Mm-hmm. But that might be what he likes. He might be like your man Thurman. They're already saying I don't belong in there with Tszyu. I shouldn't be fighting this kind of fight with all this layoff and all this and that. Sometimes the more we hear doubt from the outside, that's just the fuel to the fire to have us wake up, train hard, get the right sweat that we need so that we can put on a great performance and do a great job. And at the end of the day, if Crawford wins, loses, or draws, as long as he puts up a fight and a good performance, we're all gonna just, tip the hat off to him and just applaud him for the effort, man. So it's really a lose-lose for Crawford, and I think people don't wrap their mind around that, which is one reason why he probably wants to run it.
Well, that's the exact opposite of what Canelo said. He says Canelo loses everything in a fight with Crawford. He says he's already brought people up in divisions in the past and received nothing but criticism. If he brings up a welterweight again, because he did with Khan, he would only receive criticism, and he ended in saying he won't ever give Crawford the fight because of that, because he won't get the credit. Do you think the world would give him the credit or discredit him for bringing up another guy 3 divisions?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter at this point. That's not a prime boxing match. It's a celebrity boxing match. It's name versus name. It's a 2-time unified champion versus a unified champion, right? Undisputed. 2-time undisputed champion versus another undisputed champion, right? Mm-hmm. That's how they try to sell the other fight, right? And then, look what we got. So that doesn't matter. What matters is the heart of the fighter. I think that it would be an interesting fight Is it the best fight for Canelo at this stage? That's up to him and his team. They might not need it, and he might not. Yeah, he might not like it. It's up to him. Like you said, he does feel like he's losing everything. But like I said, on Crawford's end, there's nothing to lose.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's nothing to lose, everything to gain. And I do still believe that it can be a problem because no matter what he says, he lost. You know, just like me, we got something in common. We lost to lightweights. Bump welterweights. Floyd ain't no real welterweight. You didn't lose to a welterweight when you lost to Floyd. You lost to a lightweight. I didn't lose to a welterweight when I fought Pacquiao. I lost to a lightweight. You know what I mean? Let's be real. You know? So, in that sense, do divisions matter? Most of the time they do. Sometimes, occasionally, they don't. Like Floyd's people always said, the skills pays the bills.
Ruin the 504 New Orleans says, with the inactivity, going to a new weight class and facing a young champion working against you, how can we believe that you can beat Tim?
Well, I mean, you just got to look at the styles. You know, the inactivity is an illusion. I was in the gym all year last year, in and out, camp, no camp, this fight, getting ready for the contract, hearing about it, not manifesting, hearing about it, not manifesting. So, you know, that inactivity that you talk about is only inactive in the ring. It's only inactive on fight night. It's not a real inactivity, and you're gonna see that. I was inactive when I fought Mario Barrios, but I was in the gym. I was mobilizing myself with my yoga practice. I was working out, doing my two-a-days. I got in tremendous shape and conditioning. I ended up sparring 5 guys, 3 rounds each. 12 days before the fight, I did 15 rounds. I knew I was ready, you know? So, you know, the way I get ready for a fight, I call it the Trinity. You gotta have your conditioned legs. You gotta have conditioned arms to throw the punches. You gotta be able to move, gotta be able to punch. And then for overall fatigue, you gotta have a conditioned cardiovascular system. So legs, arm, heart, that's the Trinity. That's how I train to get ready for fights. It's nothing new to me. I'm doing the same exact stuff that I've always done. I'm gonna be ready for a tremendous 12 rounds of boxing. Regardless of if it goes all 12 rounds or not, I'm gonna be prepared for that. And, you know, it's just IQ. You don't need to believe in me, but I need to believe in me. I always have, and I always will. And the truth will be revealed on fight night.
I got Andre Griffin. He says, how has becoming a family man impacted your decision making regarding your boxing career? I guess that's like a play on words. People seem to think you're domesticated now that you're a father and that you just don't have that hunger you once had because you're a dad. You know, we think different when we have children and we got, you know, other people to take care of.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, but there's one thing that's important. Do I still love boxing? And the answer is yes. Am I willing to make the sacrifice in the gym in the way stylistically that I've done in the past? And the answer is yes. So I don't feel like I'm falling off of anything. Life is complex. Life was complex during other fights for other reasons before I ever got married, you know? At the end of the day, you know, I always said, I'm not afraid to let it go. If you can beat me, you know? I'm not worried about being beaten. I'll tell you the thing that hurt me the most in the Pacquiao fight is that in the championship rounds, in the final end, if I would have really knew that they're not going to raise your hand, you know, or this is not a draw because of the knockdown. It was close, people. It was close. At the end of the day, I just need to put my foot on the gas. Cool. Don't raise my hand. That's fine. But I didn't go out with my all. And I don't know how many of you guys who watch this have ever competed in any sport in your life. But for me, if you can beat me, fine. You knock me out, what am I going to say? What am I going to do about that, right? But when I'm in the fight, I'm in the fire. And I just don't let my light shine. I don't crank the furnace all the way. I don't give you all the heat. That's me falling short of my own greatness. And nothing feels worse than that. That you could have, you would have, you should have, but you didn't. Life happens in moments. Fights happen in moments. And the determination that you hold on to in that moment is one of the most important things in a boxer's life. Same with golf. You're pressing. You're on the back nine. Moment. You got 8 more to go. Moment. You got 7 more to go. Moment. You just got a birdie. You feel good. Moment. You just got a double bogey. You got to make that up. You only got 4 holes to go. What are you going to do in that moment? How do you feel? How do you react? And in that moment, it's already slipping away every second. It's not, it's not easy to do this. It's not easy to be where I'm at, It's easy to criticize on the couch, in the laptop, but I was a 7-year-old boy who said he wanted to box. And I'm still here doing it today. This is my path. This is my story. And if it's up to me, it's not over.
You think open scoring would have helped you in that situation? Obviously, Canelo Trout had open scoring, allowing the fighters to know that they're down or up on the cards might give you that fuel you're talking about for the fire. Had you known you were down, or it was as tight as you thought?
Man, that's a nice argument. It is what it is. I gotta say, another thing that hurt me the most is that I felt like I let Ben Getty down. He was the man who groomed me to be great in the sport of boxing. He's the man that groomed me so that, when the big fights happened, that we were ready, mentally prepared, mentally, physically prepared. And I just felt like at the end of everything, there was so much going on in that camp. If I could have changed this, if I could have changed that, if I wasn't injured that year, there's a lot of things. Who cares? I signed that contract. I was in the fight, regardless of what I was going through that year, regardless of all the obstacles. That's why I say it's momentarily, it's moment by moment. And then thinking, reflection, I look back and I'm like, man, if Ben was in my corner, if Ben was yelling at me in my ear, if he told me you have to knock this boy out, right? When they told Crawford, he was winning the fight. But when they told Crawford he's not winning the fight, that's something, that's different, So it's like, maybe I didn't hear the words that I needed to hear to step in and commit. I failed to commit to the absolute, giving it my best, so that if I am where I'm at today, and we have this conversation, I can just say, hey man, look, I did it. I gave my best. You saw what happened in that 11th and 12th round. You saw how I put my foot on the gas. You saw how I did this and that, and I didn't win the fight. But I know, Keith Thurman knows, the moment he held back.
Obviously, I spent a lot of time with you, and it is your only loss, but it's been a while. I feel like that loss is haunting you. Do you think that the Tszyu win can help you forget it, or you will never forget it?
It doesn't, it's life, man. God is good all the time, and all the time God is good, When you every day is a blessing, right? So if today what you're going through doesn't feel like a blessing, then that means today your blessing has manifested in the form of a hard to swallow lesson. Just like Canelo learned from Floyd, Keith Thurman has learned from Pacquiao. And in all honesty, I'm very grateful for what has come in my life. Even though a lot of negativity happened, even though my depression after that fight with the hand surgery, I lose a fight, now I got the hand surgery, I'm in recovery, doctor says I'm gonna be okay. Do you think I think I'm gonna be okay after I let a doctor open up my hand and put it back together? I don't know. Doubt is entering my mind, you know? So there's been a lot. My wife, she got the bad end of it, you know? She got an angry man who's frustrated at himself, who's taking it out on his wife, you know? She's, so it is what it is, man. I have my life in the ring, I have my life outside of the ring, and I'm blessed in both of these. I'm blessed in boxing. I'm blessed to be with the woman that I'm with. I'm blessed to have the children that I have, you know? And that's why I'm saying, man, everything in life is a blessing. And if it doesn't feel like it, that means today's blessing is a hard to swallow lesson.
YouTube family, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Help us get to that 1 million subscribers. We're on the road to 1 million. And obviously, we have other great content on our Patreon channel. So since this video is over, head on over to our Patreon and check out all the exclusive content or right here on our YouTube members.